The last couple of years may have shone a ray of hope over many Arab countries, which saw regime change or significant political reform. But when it comes to most types of food, the image is not so bright. Arab countries currently consume twice as much food as is locally available. Their economies are therefore heavily import-dependent, and so they are very vulnerable to rises in global food prices or external disruptions to food supply and trade. What's more, the region is expected to see a population increase from 380 million people today to 630 million people in 2030. This adds an extra complicating factor to the mix. More and more people for less and less food. And so it may not come as a surprise that in conversations among young people across the Arab world, the topic of food security often comes up.
Oh my God.
So in Jordan, there's always a lack of water in the country just because water is scarce in the whole country as a whole. And obviously that's going to affect the amount of food that's available. University there.
Beirut-based Jordanian Raya shares her experiences with her friends Lara, an 18-year-old from Lebanon, and Yumna, also 18, from Egypt.
في مصر كمان مشكلة الأكل والغذاء مشكلة كبيرة كمان عشان في تزايد السكان في مصر أكتر دولة عربية بيزيد فيها السكان فده عمل مشكلة ما بين عمل فجوة كبيرة في الأكل وفي الغذاء في المية.
The problem is that what you can grow in this region is limited because of the weather.
It's too safe now to go to Shem.
While their stories vary depending on their experience, the overarching issue is the same across the Arab world. The region is unable to feed itself, and the situation is not expected to get any better due to the rising water scarcity. Estimates say that in a few years, the per capita share of water in the Arab world will be close to only 500 cubic meters a year. But it's not all necessarily grim news. Many countries in the region, like Egypt, are undergoing deep political changes, which many people see as an opportunity to address these challenges. Young Egyptians, like Mohammed, say that in his rural community of Al-Sharqiyya, there is a lot to be fixed.
في أراضي رز 5000 فدان رز في الشرقية هنا في مصر ممنوعين من الزراعة عشان ما فيش مية. إزاي أنا عندي النيل وما فيش مية؟ بدل ما أنا عندي النيل ومش عارف أزرع يبقى هاكل منين؟ طماطم غالية وإحنا دولة زراعية مثلا طماطم ليه ب6 جنيه.
In Cairo, food prices are also a concern.
We're really concerned by the prices. The prices are constantly going up and it becomes tiring because it's only the prices and not the revenue or the salary of our parents, and then we just have to compromise.
Farida is a 16-year-old student in Cairo, and even in this huge capital city, she can see where the root of Egypt's food problem lies.
Our agricultural, sector is not really that developed. Our food supplies are getting wasted every day, and that just comes to the fact where I have to say no, they're not secure at all, actually.
While shortcomings in achieving sustainable development are common to the whole region, the driving cause of food insecurity varies from country to country. In Yemen, for example, the overriding problem is that farmers prefer to plant khat over basic foodstuffs like wheat and corn. Khat is a water-intensive plant chewed for the stimulating chemicals it contains.
We know that many farmers have actually turned their cereal farms and fruit and vegetable farms to khat farms because it's a cash plant. So this is causing a very serious problem with food insecurity and agriculture.
While khat cultivation is a problem that is particularly acute in Yemen, the country's food security is affected by other factors that are present across the region: an underdeveloped agricultural sector, rising water scarcity, an over-reliance on imports, and a growing population. But like in Egypt, Mohammed sees the current political changes in Yemen as promising when it comes to improving the food security situation.
It's very important to voice our opinion about food, but the period that we're going through now, I think there are some maybe priorities, maybe get the situation to be more stable in terms of security, and then the next step will be to get in the streets and demand more actions by the Ministry of Agriculture to solve that problem. But we started the revolution, and it's not going to end here.
While young people perceive that the main problems related to food security in Egypt and Yemen are food prices and khat cultivation, in Lebanon they identify the major threats to food security as conflicts, war, and instability. Petra is from South Lebanon, and during the July 2006 war, she experienced at first hand just how scarce food gets during a conflict.
Everything comes from Beirut, from the port. All the food supplies are there, you know. So when in 2006, Israeli army broke the road from Beirut to south, there was an impossibility for food to travel from Beirut to other cities.
Petra blames the government for the food shortages experienced during the war.
So actually the government is not doing anything to prevent this type of crisis. It can be a war or just a natural disaster. You never know. So we should be learning from it.
For Khalil, a Lebanese student of economics, war is indeed a factor when it comes to food security in Lebanon, but he says it is a factor the Lebanese state has little control over. He argues that there are other things the state could improve on to lessen the impact on food security when war rages.
We have to rebuild our productive sectors, especially agriculture, basically because of the political situation in the region, which is highly volatile. We don't know and we cannot anticipate when the crisis is coming. So for that, we have to build and secure national resources.
Back at the park in Beirut, Raya, Lara and Yumna's chat has run the gamut on food security issues: water, food distribution, agricultural development, and now their discussion is turning to other things. Today, these young people are learning about the issues that affect food security in the Arab region, but tomorrow it is this generation that will have to find solutions for this problem for future generations.
على الصبح دنيس العالم ببين صغير وما حدا بيعرف شو بيصير فوق السطوح دنيس على السطوح دنيس ما حدا بيعد وما حدا بيقيس ما حدا ملاك ولا قديس فوق السطوح دنيس قد ما يكون حظك تعيس يمكن تلاقيلك شي عريس حدا يحكيلك بالاحاسيس او حدا يكون